3, 2, 1.
Yo, we got your back when you driving to work or driving home. If you on a plane or you at the gym or you home alone, all you gotta do to listen to the shows, turn on your phone. Two Ugly Nerds podcast, tell you what's going on. This is the podcast.
Eric is ugly and would not judge anybody else.
There's no other insult.
When did you learn that you were ugly?
Two Ugly Nerds podcast.
Welcome to the
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Two Ugly Nerds podcast, niggas from the Black Nerd community. I am your host, Jack the Podcast Guy. Always joined. I'm just gonna get right into this. Always joined by Amazon Music, audio engineer / super producer.
Good.
Right there. Also, the father, dad himself. My bad. I use all the adjectives. Don't want anybody getting, feeling like they're not getting their just due. Also, is joined by Geronimo, Mr. Nintendo, our resident pro streamer.
I have a cereal bar.
Okay, we respect that.
It's gonna be good.
We
It's
respect
a
that.
It's a golden graham.
It's a golden graham bar. Those are fire.
Yes,
Those are
sir.
fire. Those are fire. The golden graham joints and the cinnamon toast crunch joints. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those
don't win.
And if you can get the Reese's Puff cereal bar, that's the one. That's the
I
one.
mean, that Cheerio cereal bar is fire.
No, those are fire too.
I like those as well. I've never seen the Reese's.
I never seen
Puffs
Reese's.
one.
You never seen the Reese's one? Oh,
I'm gonna keep an eye out now.
Yeah, Reese's one is fire. The one that sucks? It's Frosted Flakes one.
That's not surprising.
That one isn't good, bro. I bought a box.
Oh, you know what?
I knew they were gonna be fire. I was like, Frosted Flakes cereal bars, of course. Ass. I don't know what formula.
Not surprising. Y'all should know I don't find that.
Lucky Charms is alright, too.
surprising. I've never had the Lucky Charms one.
Lucky
I'm
Charms.
sure it's good though.
I mean, most of these cereal bars are good. To be fair,
Yeah, I don't
most
really
of them are. Because I don't even eat Golden Grams regularly. Like I've never gone to the store and picked up a box of Golden Grams, but I'll buy that cereal bar.
Yeah.
I buy both.
All right, man. I am in here without AC today, so if I die of heat exhaustion, just know I did it for the love. All right.
We'll manage. Or it's the internet.
Just
Or the internet
pass
just
out.
goes out. And
I
that's
think
the
we
reason.
I think we just
Think we
lost
just
it.
lost one of the guys.
Just casually. All right. Well, I guess I'm.
Our
How
condolences.
are we gonna end the stream to get the video if she's dead? No, sorry. No, sorry. That was very morbid.
We're kidding.
Morbid humor. I'm sorry. Okay.
We're gonna lament Derek.
We're gonna lament. Hey man, I apologize to anybody who listened to that last episode and heard me say lament wrong like 4 times. I knew what I meant in my head, and I feel like y'all know what I meant, but I was using it in the wrong place because
At least we're all on the same.
I don't know.
page.
I was caught up in what I believed to be an alternate definition for lament as well. I think I just believed there was an alternate definition, and then I looked it up and I couldn't find one. So I was like, I was just wrong. Anyways, we are gonna dive right into this Titans season 3 trailer. We're not even gonna waste your time, man. Don't worry about console. Don't worry about sections, and we're gonna dive right into some stuff. Titans season 3 trailer. What y'all think of it just overall, yo? It got your hype building. It got y'all.
I'm actually pretty excited for it. I mean, we're kind of laying back on like a full Gotham-esque, well, not the whole story, but it's going to be a decent focus on Gotham City and clearing out some stuff there. We get to see a good look of Jason Todd turn to Red Hood, which is pretty soon from what I know about Batman stuff. But overall, I like how his get-up looks. Somehow it works for the actor. He's not like super tall and imposing, but I'm sure they'll just have him with an AK and being like, no, look, motherfucker, I'm gonna kill everyone in Gotham.
Yeah.
I mean, it did seem like he had an automatic weapon in there. Normally he uses pistols, but it did seem like he was carrying an automatic
Bigger
weapon
gun, you know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I feel him. You gotta do what you gotta do. He trying to get back. He trying to spin the block on Joker, so he gotta get a bigger strap for him. Please.
Yeah, it was dope. Definitely hyped for the season.
Yep.
Not a huge fan of the helmet in particular.
Yeah,
but
that's the one thing I'm missing on him. Yeah.
personally,
I like the
don't-
helmet, but I see what y'all mean about the helmet. They kind of went a little too Iron Man-esque with like the mouth portion.
Yeah, and there's like a weird,
bit.
there's a weird shine off of it. There's like a weird like shine. I don't know. I thought they were gonna kind of go a more kind of like how Deathstroke's mask looked. I thought they were gonna kind of go that direction, and it doesn't really look the same. Deathstroke's mask to me looks a little more realistic versus
like he made it or
Red
whatever.
Hood's mask seems like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem the same. But that's just me. That's just me. It would probably grow on me over the season. I'm like, yo, I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited. Honestly, August is gonna be kind of popping off with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
A lot of different things.
I mean, we're not gonna even spend too long on this, man. Y'all can head over to YouTube or wherever, and y'all can go catch the trailer. It's coming out August 12th. You know, like Gerard was saying, we definitely know Jason got beat the brakes off him with that crowbar by Joker. So we'll definitely see the results of that. We'll see him become Red Hood. We'll see Batman. I said Alfred because he is Alfred in the movie, but we'll see Batman have to deal with the issues that come with Jason dying, and more or less on his watch, because Jason came back to Gotham. You know, this didn't happen when Jason was out with the Titans, as I thought they were kind of trying to imply. You know, Jason seems to be back in Gotham. Now, why he's back there, or if he's actually listening to Bruce or not, is different. But you know, we got to see that. We got to see Barbara Gordon / Commissioner Gordon / potentially Oracle. I
could see him slip.
I mean, she's already in her wheelchair, so I'm going to assume that. This season still has to deal with Starfire and Blackfire's death, or Starfire and Blackfire's battle. Well, really, it's Blackfire battle, because Starfire don't even want the little throne, so she's like, "Fam, go do your thing." And Blackfire like, "No, I have to kill you, or they won't respect me." And she's like, "Fam, no, you don't. I'm down here by my thing, whatever." But that should still be really cool to see. I like every little scene that they pop up in together, and yeah, that's gonna be really good to watch. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I'm curious how the back and forth of that's gonna go for sure. Because like Blackfire's here on Earth,
she's on Earth, ready to
she's
fight.
here on Earth. She's ready to square up. She wants all the smoke.
Facts. And I really want to see how long these episodes are, because, like I said, I mean, just from the couple things I've mentioned already, there's a lot of different storylines going on. You know, they're gonna force feed us more Hawk and Dove as well, so we know they've got to have some time to, you know, if you're gonna Hawk, if you're gonna Dove, I'm gonna Hawk, and all that bullshit. That's the worst line of the trailer, by the way. So just try to skip over it.
The worst kind of comic book stuff. Like,
it's just wow. I couldn't believe that made the trailer. And then the only other thing I had on there was, obviously, we got to see Tim Drake. If you didn't catch it, Tim Drake is the black kid in the restaurant crying when he hears that Jason is dead. So for him to be crying in that situation, I'm going to assume he knows that it's Jason. So that means he's already a Robin, which makes sense, because Jason was kind of fed up with not only Dick, but also Bruce. Towards the end of the last 2 seasons, we knew that he wasn't seeing eye to eye with them. He wanted to kind of run off with Rose. And so a lot of different things were going on in Jason. So it's not too crazy to think that maybe Bruce had somebody else in there. And actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the idea is Jason was out there with the Titans in San Francisco. And so Tim was probably with Bruce this whole time. You know, learning and training his thing. So hopefully, if we do that, then we don't even have to see two. If they kind of give us that explainer, then we might not even have to see like a whole training montage for Tim. We just know, hey, this kid's super smart. You guys got Tim is definitely the techie Robin. You know, he's gonna hack into everything. He's gonna be super smart about it. Similar fighting style to Dick. I'd say he's probably the second best Robin after Dick. But yeah, so there you go. You got Titan season 3, August 12th, man. Look out for that. We are hyped for it. I'm super hyped for it. I'm watching that.
We're gonna be doing full coverage
by week. Oh,
week
for sure. Definitely doing week for week for that. Okay. All right, people. Normally we wait. Normally we do other things. No. You don't even have to wait. Fuck a timestamp. We can't be more than like 5-10 minutes in. Loki season finale.
Season finale.
Spoilers. Okay.
Oh, wait. What do you want?
No. I just kept saying it.
Oh, okay.
It was funny to me. I laugh at myself in editing. It's fun.
That's gonna be crazy here.
That's what makes it worse.
That's what makes it
mad.
They're gonna be mad.
I'm gonna have to clip his audio out, clip that part of the video out, and then take just the audio and put it over this point when I make the reference, so that it sounds like someone laughed as I did that. And I will. I'll do that. You guys think it's funny? All right, fine. Since you guys want to joke about it, okay. All right, look. Loki season finale. Your guys' favorite phrase this whole season was that was the best episode. This time, I agree. It really was the best episode for one person. We'll get there. How'd y'all feel?
Ooh, man,
Finale.
what a reveal. So, I mean, okay, so one, I know the other week I was trying to downplay this because there was stuff here and there, but I didn't want another, like, I don't know. I just was preparing myself to be like, maybe they'll do a name drop and they won't have him there as the actual reason behind the TVA. I was thinking, oh, it's another Loki variant somehow, some way. And it probably would have been hella annoying, but
That would have hurt me.
So happy that
You were
they
wrong.
didn't go.
Never
that
been happy.
I'm glad too. I was
so
like, yo, I'm so glad I was wrong. I'm so glad they went in.
Oh,
Yes, man. Yes.
yeah.
I'm mad at Emergency Awesome for putting that in my head, man.
For putting it
He
in your
said,
head
he
that it
said
might not
that.
be.
I need to know that.
Yeah,
He did say the
said
same thing, that
it's
it could be a
probably
Loki
gonna be
variant.
another Loki variant.
I actually didn't know that. He
Like,
probably
oh,
was
it's
downplaying.
Agatha all along. I was like, nah, bro. I just had this feeling like they can't.
He was
Even
probably
if they
down-
didn't show him fully in the episode, like Gerard said, I agreed with that. They might not fully show him, but I just felt like there'd be some reference to him being the main guy still, like him being the one who, even if he wasn't the one in the Citadel, the person he left there was an agent of his. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody he
Yeah,
left.
that's what I was thinking. Like, we won't see Kang himself, but
Yeah,
man,
we got there.
Yeah, we got there.
So I guess that beginning part though, where he had the little pop scare with Miss Minutes, fully confirming she's in cahoots with who's run the whole thing.
Yeah, she's
And-
pretty much the second in command.
Yup. Man, that's so interesting though. It's like because Tara Strong voiced her, so it's like she's playing like a more villain-esque type
And
character.
I'm not used to hearing her voice like that, so it's very.
I dug it. I was like, okay,
I liked it.
I
But it did throw me off. I was like, wait, Tara, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to us?
You're the villain in the southern accent. Yeah.
Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Right up in the. Yeah, man. I think everybody had to admit they got a little. Oh shit! What was that?
Yeah, just so abrupt. Like, okay,
right. You ain't got to be too manly. It happens. It happens, guys. We all get a little jump scare from time to time.
Yeah, you just the first thing you walk into this little big cracked up looking castle, and then just this freaking CGI clock person appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm a jump
like,
too.
Like what? The last thing I expected.
Right. Oh, and the intro, we did skip over that. The intro, the new intro was really, really good. Really, really good. I liked it. With all of the
have voice
with all the voiceovers and from the movies and from different parts throughout the timeline. You got to hear different stuff. You got to hear Chadwick in there as well, saying Wakanda Forever, and just different stuff throughout the whole intro. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a dope way to kind of bring in that scene. Like it definitely set the stage for me. Is what it set that stage of like shit ain't quite right. Like something is like something is going awry. Like something, yeah. Like we get like y'all about to really get into some shit that y'all don't know if y'all ready for, and that's exactly where we got.
It was interesting too because they showed all that with like a little big, broad like the like expand like zooming out to will be our plan, our universe.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah.
And simulating like a big bang, black hole, and like something new being created again, and it was interesting. It was a really interesting intro for sure.
Yeah, they did a good job, man.
Yeah,
they did.
Very, very interesting.
But yeah, so yeah, my bad. Back to the we got Miss Minutes jump scare, and then she start offering ultimatums and shit.
Yep. She just telling them that they're in the Citadel, which is at the end of time. So they're truly at the end of time. Yep. Like you said, she starts asking, like offering deals or saying like, oh, you you could do this, but you can also just take these deals. The head boss guy is, she's really being really coy and everything, saying like, I can give you a whole life. Like Loki, you can win New York, you can defeat Thanos and this and the other. You can sit at the throne of Asgard. And she promised Sylvie, like, oh, we can give you your whole life back, and then you both can be in the same place and you'll be together, and it won't make sense, but I can make it make sense,
right?
And they're like, nah, fuck that deal.
Facts. And I guess we can just mention there that as we go here, because that was we got more information now that obviously we're so far past Wednesday. knowing that that scene was originally supposed to be a longer scene for the episode, and that they obviously were brought in who we see next. We already said it a bunch of times, Kang, but they brought him in after the fact because of the pandemic slowdown, and were able to kind of get some more of his stuff in there. And they really liked his audition, and they really liked the way he portrayed the character. So that's how we got this kind of shortened and switched. But originally, we were supposed to see Ms. Minutes kind of let me use this word wrong again, lament. We're supposed to see Miss Minutes kind of explain to Sylvie and Loki, like, hey, this is all the things that you can have, like it's gonna be amazing. And we were supposed to see more representations of that. So if you remember seeing some of those like King Loki scenes and stuff like that, those were the type of scenes that we were supposed to get and see in that part there. But they ended up shortening it in favor of letting us see way more Kang. Which I mean, I think we're all happy with. I don't think any of us are disappointed in that. I'm sure they can reuse those scenes somewhere. I'm sure, you know, especially now with the branching timelines, who's to, like, why would we not see a King Loki somewhere, or, you know, anything else? You know, it's possible. So yeah, I'm not upset at that change in the slightest. But it was really dope, you know, to see that and to learn that they were basically just, you know, so enthralled with Jonathan Majors that they were just like, yeah, bro, no, we have to put him here. Like, how do we fit him? Like, let's make this work. He's so good. And I agree. We'll get there, but really good. And then, yeah, so they do that. And then, you know, Miss Minutes, yeah, obviously deny her, like you said, and Miss Minutes just goes.
I bet.
Yeah, good luck with that. Have fun, and it dips, you know, teleports on them. And you know what? Let's do this because I don't want to stay on just here because these are the parts I forget. But Miss Minutes jumps out and she goes and sees Ravonna. And I want to talk about Ravonna a good bit because this episode, I think it helped a little bit, but I do not think. I think she suffered from the fact that these episodes are clearly expensive to make and they can only make so many. So her character got a lot of things cut that would have made her decisions at the end make more sense. Because once you figure out that the organization you're working for is a lie, why would you stay loyal to the organization? Unless they had done a good enough job of establishing her as already being that type of person. Like if we had a backstory where she was just like loyal to people in fucked up situations, like when they're doing things that are clearly wrong, but she's like, those are the rules and I'm a rule follower. If she was like that, if we had got to see that backstory, I feel like her doing this with the TVA and the timekeepers would make more sense. But because there's none of that, it just seems weird for her to be like, there has to be a reason. I have to believe it's for something. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You could actually just use a time pad and go back wherever you want and do whatever you want. You don't have to believe any of that. Like, you don't. You can just be on everybody else's side. Everybody's variants. We all know that now. So I just thought that was interesting. And one Easter egg that I found, look, shout out to me because I don't read Marvel comics. I found one Easter egg. One Easter egg that I didn't see anybody else talk about. When they go to her principal office, you can see she has like I guess it's supposed to be like a degree on the back behind. You can see it's behind B15. The name on there is Rebecca. I just Googled this earlier and I forgot. It's Rebecca Timote or something like that. It's an alias of hers from the comics. Now,
oh, cool.
I don't believe that the Ravonna that was the high school principal or whatever, I don't believe that Ravonna is the same version of Ravonna from, like, I don't think that Ravonna, because Ravonna in the comics, and I think we talked about this a couple episodes back when we were first talking about like her relevance and why she kind of foreshadowed like Kang showing up. In the comics, she's a princess that Kang found on one of his conquering things, and then he kind of basically took her with her, and she became his, you know, his girl outside of time, sort of thing, whatever. And that's cool. In this, though, she, at least what's been explained to us, is she's a variant. She was just a person, a variant. She wasn't a princess of nowhere. He didn't come specifically grab her from a timeline or anything. Like, he didn't meet her on his own timeline. She's just a variant, and he happened to pluck her out. Now, do I understand why a black man like Kang might have plucked Ravonna out. I do. I get it. Shawty a little baddie.
Right? Of course.
She
Makes
my
sense.
little thing. All right. So I'm just saying, I understand. I might get in trouble for that. Well,
It's not the same pitch, so I think it'll be fine.
right?
I think.
I'm gonna blame one of y'all niggas.
I didn't say that shit.
Right?
I was silent.
I was also
He
silent.
said I'm married. Nigga, you have to blame me.
I would say no such thing.
Listen, I understand why he picked her. All right, that's all I'm saying. And clearly, she like must have rose her rate through the marks, and she's done enough to where, and she's shown her loyalty to where he's given her the information to escape being affected by the changes that the Lokis have now caused. But she doesn't seem to have had this knowledge beforehand. This seems to all be new to her. So I don't know that she's the idea is that she's not doing anything sinister necessarily. She thinks she's doing the thing that's right, which is fair, even though it just happens to be what we've seen as, well, not really necessarily the wrong thing, but something that could be wrong. She's in an anti-hero role, I guess, at the moment. But it just didn't really make sense for her to get there. It's just the way she got there was just like, you know, that whole conversation with B-15, we talked about that. That wasn't like the best, you know, she wasn't, they just didn't have enough time to really develop her character. And that to me kind of ruined a lot of these moments towards the end where it would have made more sense, because even at the end there, you know, we just kind of close Ravonna's part here. Even with her, well, we don't have to close, you guys can bring up whatever you want. But Ravonna, when she, you know, when Mobius came back and she's like, you know, one, I didn't know they was gonna make Owen Wilson get his ass kicked like that. I thought that was kind of like, I thought he was gonna at least a small fight scene, like one or two.
Man,
Just gentleman, man.
Just give him the jet ski, man. He'll knock somebody upside the head.
He could have had like one or two blocks before she caught him or something. Like, give my man a little something. She just like, Ravonna ain't been able to fight nothing the whole time. She ain't stopped nothing yet. And now with Mobius, she like, yeah, you ain't gonna be able to stop me. Boop, boop, boop. Like, she just became a ninja. All right, man, cool. It's cool. It's cool. I just felt like Mobius.
I thought he had something to back that up, man. Because
something
big stuff.
He was like, "Oh, really? Let's test that." Oh, okay. No, I don't got it at all.
Yeah.
No, he like the dude in the club. Oh, you want to go?
Oh, you were right.
You want to go? Boom. Oh, shit. All right. No, you wanted to go. My bad.
You wanted to go.
You did want to go. That's just crazy, right? So yeah, man. I definitely thought that was a little weird. And then, you know, she takes off and does her thing. But that whole argument with Mobius, like, you betrayed me. I'm like, nigga, no. He just found out that his whole life's a lie. He was robbed from his life. It's natural to believe, like, hey, especially when you don't know the end goal. Like, nobody else knows what Kang is talking. Nobody else knows the end of it, right? Only right now, at least for us, only the Lokis know, and potentially Ravonna understands. Maybe.
I think she will. Yeah,
if she doesn't know yet, she will, right? Yeah.
I think that's part of the new instructions that Miss Minutes gave her in that scene.
Yeah.
Where she was like, "This isn't what I wanted." She's like, "No, he thinks this is way more useful." And she's like, "Who? Who?" And then Miss Minutes dips again. I think she dips for the rest of the show.
She does. Yeah, she doesn't come back in the episode. Yeah. And I agree. It's definitely because she definitely gave her something pertaining to where she could go or where she could be to hide out from the effects of the universe resetting. And then, and that she could, I'm sure her job is going to be that Kang we see. I'm sure she is. So Kang dies, right? Then he leaves Ravonna to come back. And I guess I was trying to say theories to the end, but whatever. I'll give y'all one small one. I'm under the impression that her job now is to make this Kang know what caused the last TVA to fall. So her job is to show him, be like, look, you lied to everybody. You told everybody there were these timekeepers and this great big thing. And what happened when that got all unmudded? Everybody got pissed off. Everybody got upset. Everybody went, what the fuck is this? And everybody, you know, was period pissed about it. Everybody's trying to get back to their timelines, and it's all chaos. So this time, we might do something a little different. We'll get back there though. I think that's her goal. I think that's definitely her role. But I don't know, man. How'd y'all feel about Renslayer throughout this series, I guess?
Yeah, her arc wasn't fully fleshed out. And I think it was just maybe a casualty of maybe how this production went with COVID and stuff and everything. I think, there was an article I saw. I linked it the other day. But yeah, I think a part of it was because of just COVID stuff. They wanted to film more stuff with Ravonna and Mobius, giving more information about them, but constraints. So at least with this ending, I do like that they they kind of gave the thing like Miss Minutes gave her other coordinates of where to go. So she's gonna probably meet either He Who Remains Kang, one we saw in this one, or it might be a different one, a different time period. We'll have to see. But I'm actually cool. I'm actually glad they showed B-15 going to was it 1985 or 1980, whatever, and showing one of the other agents being like, "Yo, that's not Ravonna." And she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Wait." She's like, B-15's like, "Yeah, I told you, we variant." And it's like, okay.
It was 2018.
Yeah. Huh?
They went back to 2018.
It was 2018? I thought it was 1980.
Yeah, I thought it was older too. And then
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I thought I said 1980, 1985.
Said it was earlier.
It said
2018.
2018. Where was it at?
Hold on.
Just go to the episode, people.
I have it up here.
2018, Fremont, Ohio.
Did he really say 2018? I
remember being
thought it said 1980 something. I'm big tripping.
Oh, y'all variants, man.
Facts.
Y'all not on the team. Y'all not on the main.
We saw the wrong timeline.
The jig is up. Jig is up. It definitely said 2018. Why I thought I said 1980?
I don't know why I thought it said something earlier too.
It's just time to get new glasses. That's all it is. But that's so weird. Now I'm looking at anyway. I don't want to get too derailed on this, but that whole point of that scene was to show that show one of the other TV agents like, "Yo, B-15 is not crazy," and us the viewer get to see this. I'm guessing this is the original version of her. Yeah.
Damn, that is really crazy.
I don't know how we.
Why would she get plucked from 2018? That's so weird. I definitely thought they were trying to make her like older placed. Interesting.
I guess 2018 is supposed to be Infinity War time or something. Something like that. But yeah, we get back into the Citadel.
I just wonder if maybe she. Oh, there's got to be a there's something for that. There's something that I don't think that's I don't think that's like just a random year they chose. I don't. Well, also it's Marvel, so I don't think anything is random anymore. Everything has a purpose. Yeah. So if they pulled her from 2018 on purpose as a school teacher, there's a reason she was pulled. She must have interacted with an Avenger or something, and something. Maybe her existence brings about the existence of a Reed Richards or can't. I don't know, dog. It must be something though, because that's really weird. Okay. Yeah. All right. My bad. Yeah. We back to the Citadel though. Back to the Citadel, and we meet our main man.
Yeah. Back to the Citadel. We see, Kang. He Who Remains, as he introduced himself, but we're gonna say Kang going forward. Kang. This Kang, played by Jonathan Majors. Amazing.
This Black Kang.
Black Kang. We was Kangs. Yeah, but he brings him up there. They're like, "Oh, you lost, right?" And he's like, "I mean, sure." It's like, we found you. He's like, "Yeah, you got that right." So they tried to swing at him. Well, actually, let me back it up again. Actually, I apologize. So, before the after the Mr. Minute scene, we actually do get Loki and Sylvie coming up to see who he is, and then we see the elevator open up, and it's just him sitting, nice little purple and blue garb, eating an apple, which is actually hilarious. He's like, "Who the fuck's this dude?" He just big chilling, like you've been chilling here forever.
Do you think that's like a biblical reference, or was it just you think it was just funny to make me the apple, making me something? I just wondered if it was supposed to be like some sort of reference to like. I mean, he didn't say anything religious, but just like. I'm in trouble all the time. I'm eating apple, and here's this man and woman coming to me.
I mean, he does reference that he knows it all.
Oh, he knows it all. Yeah, he's the man in charge. He's the reason they're even here. You're just walking along the path I created for you.
So and then pluck from the tree of knowledge.
And then you can pluck from the. I mean,
The other
And it's a man and a woman coming to him.
And
It just seems very biblical in that moment.
I mean, I guess you
overthinking it.
can. I mean, yeah, we can always draw those parallels for sure. It's just so prominent. Another interesting thing about it, in the same room before the elevator opened up, it shows these 4 statues. One of them is broken, though.
Mhm.
My theory on that is for this universe that he led up to be, and I think over time, which we'll get into when he tells the story, his backstory about the Kang stuff, the multiverses. I think what happened is that like that was his statue there, but maybe he had some altercations before and they're trying to get his ass, maybe one of the other Kangs or something, and he broke it purposely so no one can really put 2 and 2 together. Think, oh, there was a 4th timekeeper, and he off the others to keep up the front that, like, before we found out that they're all fake robot things. Keep up the front. They're like, oh, the timekeepers are not, all 3 just running the TVA and time and stuff. So I found it as interesting. It's just there. But yeah, at that same scene, he opens up and he's like, oh, what's good, y'all? And he's like, they're all like, the fuck?
Right.
Who the hell is this? They're all like ready, swords up and shit. But it's so interesting because it's like, he's like, oh, it's like he doesn't have this super big, badass final boss villain vibe. He's just kind of like, oh man, y'all made it. Y'all did good, didn't you? God damn.
Happy for y'all, man. Y'all proud of y'all. Look at y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all
Like, come on, let's go upstairs. Let's go talk. You introduce them into the elevator. They're all standing there. And then Sylvie just kind of swing on him. He just teleports around and just like, oh man, nah.
Come on.
That ain't gonna work.
Come on, man.
Hey, it wasn't me. Ain't that something?
Right?
Definitely would have thought it'd be my dog.
Yeah.
Zeus is such a pleasure. Ain't that,
Zeus is, man. We rarely get blessed with Zeus cameos.
Yeah,
But
right.
so yeah, they go up to they go to the office, and then he's sitting down, kind of trying to like start breaking down stuff about how he's there. But then they go back to Ramona and Mobius. Mobius confronts her, and I believe it's more or less just like, why don't we just kind of try and steer this in another direction? And Ramona's like, no. It's like, you betrayed me and lied to me. And Mobius like, what are you talking about?
You're crazy.
You're crazy right now. It's like, no, this. So that's kind of their whole spiel. I felt like that could have been longer, but I think that was part of the cuts for sure.
Which I'm happy with. I didn't need to see them
That's
have
fine.
this fake romance back and forth for too long. I think
deep friendship stuff or whatever. Yeah, I think it was all right.
That's what I felt like it was going to turn into. It was going to turn into we were friends, and how could you do this? And like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I mean, like we said earlier, it already kind of felt like Ravonna was taking a position that didn't make much sense, and especially as she was the only one taking that position, just didn't really add up. So to really see her out there, I don't know, I just feel like it didn't work the best. But,
yeah, like I think she threatened to kind of glowy stick erase Mobius again, but I mean, it's kind of like we know what happens when that happens, and he came back already, so it's kind of like, all right.
Granted, he had help.
Yeah, if he had,
I mean,
for sure.
Really, he didn't do anything. Actually, he kind of just stood by, and the Lokis did everything, and then they came back, and then they kind of just send him back, and then so I don't know if he'd get out twice. He might not be so bold to try twice. I don't know.
True.
Be a little careful with that.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we kind of get the last parting thing with Ravonna. She gets her little briefcase, and then Mobius is like, "Oh, where are you going?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna kind of find my own path, free will." So this is the end of her arc in the show so far.
Well, she did say it. She did try to say that very menacingly, though.
We're trying to find free will.
In search of free will.
Dun 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 dun.
But could you imagine saying the only person who gets free will is the one in charge? Like, yo, what kind of bootlegger are you, bro? Like,
that's kind of nuts.
That would have been wild.
Special kind of bootlegger, man. What is this?
That would have been wild. Yeah, I'm actually really glad I didn't say that. Whew, that would have been bad. So let's go ahead and get deep into the Kang stuff. Yeah. So then he starts building his backstory. He introduced himself as He Who Remains, the person who remains of the multiversal war. A bunch of other Kangs and stuff were around, a bunch of different multiverses. So the backstory of, I guess now the MCU stuff, according to him as well, is like, there's the timeline that we've all been known for the past decade plus or so, right? So the first Iron Man, that's this timeline and stuff. And he portrayed himself like they showed like the little donut line, and they show he's in the center of it. So it's kind of like he is the center of this universe and everything that happens and things like that. Ages ago, before this, apparently there was other versions of him that had special powers, but they all had some different shapes, forms, etc. They somehow started developing a way to visit other universes, and that's how the first, I guess, original multiverse kind of came about. And they shared technology, stuff like that. But once they realized more stuff about time, they're like, whoa, wait a minute, we're all too powerful. We can't all just exist. So they all have a power struggle against each other. They fight it out. And supposedly this Kang we see here, he's the last who remains of that war. He's the victor. So he's chilling. So at the end of it, this is technically his timeline. He won. So everything is dictated by him. And other stuff like that. But what he also did when he was chilling in his castle in the Citadel, during that time, he found that creature alive, which is the big mean cloud that they enchanted for both Lokis to get in here in the first place. So that thing's basically, I mean, we got this already, but that thing is pretty much the watchdog, and he was able to learn it and train it and manipulate to become more of a watchdog for him to protect him at the end of time in this universe. So that's why he created the TVA as well, for him as the top of the Lord of this timeline to dictate anything that happens, anything that goes, anything. So everything, all the good shit, the bad shit in the MCU, Black Widow dying, stuff like that, whatever, them going back in time to create their own separate timeline to get other Infinity Stones to defeat Thanos. That's supposed to be all dictated. And he said he also dictated this path. Also, really one person can follow back to him and be able to take hold of this timeline, because apparently he's been here for like eons, for like thousands of years on some final boss shit.
Right.
But he was surprised to see two Lokis, but he's just like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Y'all seem to love each other now too, so that might work for y'all as well.
Right.
So, and I know that's a really broad stroke of the explanation of the whole thing, but it's really, unless we want to go a bit deeper on it.
Well, the only thing I'll go back and say is the Goliath he created before he was in the Citadel, because he tells us that, since they were all doing their own individual research, they found everything, and then the war started. And as the war got worse and worse, he was looking for a solution. He was the one who found the Goliath and was able to conquer it and take control of it. And he used that to conquer the other universes and then leave us as the only leave. And we know that Kang has to be the one, or that Nathaniel Richards, whatever, he has to be from this timeline, because he's the one that is, because this is the timeline we've seen, all the MCU movies we've been watching is the one that he protected.
Right.
So we know that this is the timeline, and it must be the one he's from. So lucky us for having the right Nathaniel Richards, right?
Right.
Thank goodness.
But yeah, so he used that, and then he obviously repurposed Goliath to protect himself at the end of time, which he knew would be difficult for anybody to get to him, especially without any kind of superpowers. I do think it's kind of weird that, knowing everything that he let them in, because I'd find it hard to imagine that he couldn't have just stopped them from using their superpowers against Goliath. Like, he could have just not let that be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then they never would have made it to him. So I do think that was interesting. But that was the only thing really. He did say that they shared technology. There was peace for a very long time. So I hope we get to see maybe some more representations of that. I know that's probably going to be in for a high budget. Maybe we don't see it in Loki. Maybe we have to see that in a movie or something like that. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with waiting.
I think going forward, we're going to see Kangs, and I think this really sets it up as Kang is the next big bad in the MCU. I don't think it's going to go on for all, like Avengers movies. I don't think it's going on that long. I think we might see within like phase 4 and phase 5.
I hope we get
I don't think it's going to go that long. Yeah.
So
yeah, and he also says that like he quote unquote wrote everything for this timeline too, so he should know everything. But after a while, when he's giving this explanation, he kind of stops. He put his hand on the table and he's like, "Wait a minute, oh, hold on, we crossed the threshold."
He's like,
indicating, fib, indicating something changed there, And then we start seeing the background, the light, the string of light that's supposed to represent the timeline. It starts unraveling. So that's kind of one thing I found interesting too, real quick. At least Marvel's interpretation of how they're dictating the multiverse and universes in this. So you think universes just kind of like parallel each other, right? Kind of like that. In this case, what they're saying is everything is always a part of one timeline, but when you unravel it, that's when multiverses start. It's supposed to show like from here, this is the point, it's all unraveling from it. So I think what they're trying to say is like, if you were to fix it, you would just put everything back in place and be one true timeline again. For that, I think that's kind of how they're visualizing it.
And the question becomes, is there a way to allow multiple timelines to exist, multiple branches to exist, multiple people, multiple beings, whatever to exist, without having to only have one sacred timeline, without having to end people's lives, without having to prune people, without having to do it? Is there a way to do it without having to do things the way Kang is? And that's going to be the battle, right? Like that's going to be the battle for the Avengers and Doctor Strange to figure out how do we keep this to a place? Because I mean, from what we see, Kang ain't lying, right? Like
everything.
The only thing we haven't seen is the actual war part. We haven't seen the war happen.
We're about to see the new one.
It could be a thing where no, don't get it twisted. This is still. I think people are getting real caught up in this being like this definitely means Secret Wars.
No, I don't even think this means Secret Wars. No, I mean, I have seen that. I don't think this will be I don't think this will be the start of Secret Wars. Secret Wars, I think, will happen because I think if there's any jumping point for Secret Wars for the future, at least planting seeds for it to happen later, I think it will be the Secret Invasion show. I think they might jumpstart the I'm gonna call it the the Skrull Civil War, more or less. Because all these most Skrulls we've seen are good, but there's also evil Skrulls. So
that's true, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it might do it from that.
I can see that being a Secret Wars start thing as well. I guess it's just that you've got so much multiversal things happening at once that I just wonder if the Avengers are gonna find a way to be able to actually start figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of sucks on Doctor Strange's shoulders, but I want to see how it plays out because it could be a thing where Kang isn't even like maybe he is telling the truth about some of it, but maybe he is just at the end going because he's the one who gets Goliath and he just is like maybe nobody else really was trying to conquer. Maybe they all were still sharing stuff, and then but maybe they had some disagreements. Maybe a couple people did fight, and then he found this Goliath and just went overboard in eating the other.
I think he found Goliath and realized what it was capable of doing and probably figured out that
and that was like
there are other Goliaths out there. If I don't use this to take out the other timelines,
then he might be lying about the war part. That's my only thing. He could be lying about the war part still.
Because he could be lying about the war. Okay.
Because like you just said, it could. I didn't even think about that. You're right. It could be because there's another Goliath out there. But I just took it as because the way he kind of explained it was that he found Goliath out. It's almost like he found Goliath outside of time. Like not that he found Goliath
it's not
timeline. And maybe I have to watch it again because I could be wrong.
I think Goliath might be I think he might be a being outside of time.
Because it can eat timelines and universe. You know what I'm saying? So
time
I think
space,
it was outside of time and space, and he found it.
Hell, it could have been here at the end of time.
I think Goliath could be like. I think Goliath could be like Wanda. Right, like where Wanda is
a Nexus being,
ever present. It's a Nexus being. I think, and we know that Wanda can't be the only Nexus being. So I think Goliath might be the same type of Nexus being, where there's only one at any given time. There's no alternate versions of Wanda. There's one Wanda, but she exists the same in every. They explained it two different weird ways in the MCU. They made it seem like there's only one Wanda, and then they kind of in WandaVision they kind of went back and said, no, Wanda's a constant across any timeline, but. They had
to do a lot of legwork with that show though, because
hopefully this gives them the freedom to maybe clear some of that up and make that a little easier to understand. But it's the way that that's what I was trying to say. It's the way that he said it. I don't know if you guys recognize it, and we will at some point get to the point where we can really dive into how good Jonathan Majors was in this performance. But it's the way he said. I stopped it. I stopped the multiversal war. Like it's almost like he was trying to convince himself, and that's what made me feel like, all right, I do think he's telling the truth to an extent, but there might be something in there that ain't quite fully the truth. You know what I mean? Like it's not all the way there. It's something that he know or he did that maybe he didn't have to jump and do. Maybe he could have held back. Maybe he could have just had a conversation. Maybe he could have imprisoned them. Maybe he could have done something different. Instead, he unleashed this Goliath. It took everybody over, and to justify that for himself, because like he said, some Kangs were warring. He didn't say every Kang. And I guess it did get to the point where the Kangs were protecting themselves from the warring Kangs. But does that mean that you have to end their timelines as well? Not every Kang was trying to conquer other places. It sounded like most of the Kangs were trying to protect themselves. So he might feel guilt from that. But and that could be the same thing as maybe just guilt he feels. But it sounded like he was trying to convince himself that he did the right thing by ending the multiversal war, by releasing the Goliath, by eating the other timelines, and by keeping it pruned and branched, no branches, and pruning people. He seems to not fully believe in it, is what I'm saying. Like they had that moment where it just felt like he wasn't sure. And I just wonder how that'll play out as we go forward. Because I thought that was
sure that what he did was
the
necessary,
right thing. Yeah.
Or the right thing to do.
Yeah. And I just say to anybody wondering where that comes from, just watch the scene again where he's explaining everything to her, to Sylvie and to Loki. And in that scene, you'll see towards the end, he's like, when he's explaining the Goliath, he's like, I found the Goliath and I stopped it. I stopped the multiversal war. It's him. It's like he's convincing himself that that's what happened. So I think that'll be interesting for people to, take a look at and see what they think about it. So yeah, who knows where they're going, but that I did notice that, and that did make me, what's the word? I guess a little cautious of it, or a little just aware. I was just like, wonder if that really means anything. And it's Marvel, so it might not mean anything, but it felt like it meant a little something in that moment.
How do you get all the universe or all the timelines to coexist?
Delete them.
You just gotta delete the one who discovered that there are.
Discovered
how to communicate with the other timelines.
No. No, that's not what he said. They all discovered it at the same time.
Yeah, he said they're all discovered.
No, he said there was one. The first king discovered that.
No, he said he was talking about himself. He said I discovered that I discovered these other universes, and he said the problem is other versions of me were figuring it out at the same time. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that one of them would have got it before the other. If you stop him, then he doesn't get to the next one. Some version of him figures it out at every time. That's the constant in the universe. Some version of him.
I'm glancing at scenes again. I'm actually seeing some of the biblical parallels.
Yeah,
again.
you're seeing what I was saying earlier too with it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like he says, like, oh, you came to kill the devil, right?
Yeah. And then you came to kill the devil, huh?
And then Sylvie was like, oh, and you created TVA, and he jokingly was like, oh man.
Yeah, he said, oh man, the singing.
Yeah. Now it's kind of just it's interesting to see.
True. I mean, that's how he viewed himself as a god, a time god. So,
but religion and science meet. They meet.
Darn! Some view it as water and oil, but hey, it's a different conversation. But yeah, so he proposed the two parts, or the two things,
options. Yeah,
the two options. He's like, yo, you can just take the throne because I'm tired. I've been doing this forever. It was great, but I'm tired. And he said, or you can just kill me and just cause another infinite amount of kings, start on the multiverse war, which to me, he knew that was going to be the actual case to happen because he knew how Sylvie's character was.
Yeah, and he said
it was still fueled by rage, revenge, all that stuff. And then our Loki, and then like Sylvie gets up and is about to strike him, and then our Loki is just like, whoa, hold on. And she's like, what? Now I knew I should never trust you. This is this. Even after Kang before, it was just like, oh, I mean, so do you really trust this Loki? It's like, they're all, put it right in their head. Yeah, so they already mind games, easy mode.
Later.
Yep. So yeah, and Sylvie's trying to fight. Well, Sylvie fights Loki. They have a decent
little battle,
a decent little brawl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they fight a little bit. But Loki's really on the defense. He's not really trying to hurt her. She's like, why are you in my way? This is this. And then she throws him away and is about to swing, does slow-mo, about to swing Kang, and Loki appears right in front of the blade as it's about to like cut, and she stops like really quickly. And he's just like
amazingly quickly, by the way.
Like perfect. Yeah, he's just like, yo, don't do this, Sylvia. I've been where you at. This isn't really the right way to be. I understand how it feels, but we need to think about this. And she's like, oh, are you signing with him? He's like, I'm not really signing with him. I just don't want the throne. And I was like, I'm glad he said that. That's great that he said that for sure.
Yeah. He said, I don't want the throne, but like something is clearly going on. Like this seems weird. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, it's a little too calculated.
I do think it would. All right. I don't know. I'm sure you saw this tweet, Drew. I'm sure you saw this tweet. I'm sure you did. Well, no. Finish the.
Oh yeah.
Finish the episode, and then I'll say my tweet.
Yeah. And so basically, and so Loki tries to give her the pep talk.
Calm her down. She ain't trying to hear it.
Yeah, calm her down. Yep. He's like, I really don't want to throne this. Like, and everyone's like, say it. And he's like, I just want you to be safe and good. They have a kiss, and it's like, oh, there it is. Congrats. There it is. But then she throws his ass into a portal and sends him back to the TVA. And that was that part. And then when we see her, and she kind of is like, oh, he who remains is left. And he's like, oh man, you actually sent him back. That's crazy. So she kills him. I want to say anticlimactic, but it was just like, oh, he dead. And all of a sudden,
I like that, by the way.
Yeah.
I like that they didn't make it this long, drawn out scene for her to kill him. Like she kicked Loki away, and she's like, I'm here to do what I came to do. Move the desk out the way with magic. He's like, oh, I love that. That was great.
Yep. He's like, oh man, I'm
like playing with her like, ooh, you got me. Ooh, okay, like I don't give a fuck. I'll be right back. Like, ooh, he's good. Like he just, like you could tell he was just so aloof about it. Like, ooh, and it's like as an adult when you go to like a haunted house and you just like, oh, you jumped out, a clown jumped out, crazy. Like you're like, all right, bro, this is whack. It gave me that type of vibe. And then she just like instantly pulls back, and she's like, you're not gonna beg for your life, and he was like, really?
No,
and it was just quick. I was
see you soon. Yep. And as soon as that, she kind of lays on the ground, kind of sits on the ground. She's like, yo, I did it, but at the same time, like, at what cost? And we just kind of pan of outside, which this is the end of the timeline, whatever, end of time. And just pans back to the TVA, and you see Mobius and B-15 staring at that little graph. Everything's out of whack. It's just nothing but lines. Everything has happened. So it's like we kind of reached that point of no return.
Oh, ain't no return now. You didn't kill the man at the end. It's
and we see Loki and TVA sitting there like, bro, what happened? Lost the woman I actually love, who is myself. And he runs around, TVA scrambling. He kind of goes through. He goes through the big library place. He runs into Mobius and B-15. He's like, yo. It's like, I just came back from the time. This is a lot of stuff we have to fight. He who remains. And Mobius is like, wait, first, who are you? What's your name? And at that point, it's like, wait a minute.
That's when I was like,
that's up the back.
That's crazy. And then it shows him, he pans out and looks in that middle part where instead of the 3 timekeeper statues, we just see the one Kang the Conqueror statue, which means, oh shit, this is a different TVA. We're now in variant TVA. Except now, after all this happened, leading up to this point now, this King, I think, decided to stay and was like, nah, fuck fronts.
I'm not fronting shit. We out here. This is my shit. I run it, and this is why I run it. Because y'all niggas, y'all don't even understand what's happening. Don't worry about nothing. I got us. I'll just stay over there and do your thing.
Fucking crazy. And then, they show part of the credits, and they show like a little part of the credits that says, Loki will return in season 2, and it's like bet. So that confirmed the season 2. We don't know a date or anything. I don't even know if they're even shooting it right now. But if I were them, I would be getting this done now.
I'd be on season 3.
Season 3 right now.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
We playing in seasons. Season 3 is shooting, and we writing seasons 4 and 5. Nigga, this is what we used to say for Community in 12 seasons in a movie.
12 seasons in a movie.
6
seasons in a movie.
6 seasons in a movie. My bad. Yeah.
So overall thoughts. Episode.
10 out of 10.
Show.
10 out of 10. And it's really just because Jonathan Majors, man.
10 out of 10. I agree. Yep.
I know, don't get me wrong. Tom Hiddleston, still great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Still great. Have you guys seen the compilations of his hair flips? Have you guys seen that?
No, I heard
So
That's part of his
I didn't notice
character.
it, but they were like, he really does flip his hair a lot through this show.
Especially when he falls down. Just like if you look back in the movies too, he always does like the like
every time. No, and here's the thing: even if he doesn't fall down, he does it. And so it made me like want to pay attention, right? So I started looking around and I started finding these compilations. A lot of them were on Twitter. And they were like, yeah, Tom Hiddleston. There was some. I saw the first one. The funniest one I saw was like Tom Hiddleston really loves that wig, and I was like, that's hilarious. Because yeah, anytime he falls, it's like a requirement of the character to flip his hair.
Hilarious.
Even when it doesn't come off as like a complete full flip, he still it don't matter. He got that flip off. Like he's great, man. Shout out Tom Hiddleston, dog. I love it. I love it. My bad. Yeah, Ian.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10. That was fantastic.
I was curious. I was like, is everyone gonna love the exposition dump as much as I do?
Loved it.
Because there were some people I saw online who were like, man, I found it kind of boring. But I don't know if it was because they just didn't have an idea of the character, just kind of outside of it, or they just hate being talked at. But I don't know. I thought it was really engaging. We're finally getting a lot of information at one time. Like, the whole creation. We pretty much got all of our questions answered that we asked the past 5 weeks, in my opinion. I would say from everything from this show's context. Yeah.
I mean, just about, like I said, I think the only things to me, which is not a problem with this episode specifically, is Renslayer. I feel like we didn't get a good enough picture of her. And if you go and for anybody, if that scene we were looking at that we messed up earlier, that we said it was 2018, it's that scene. If you look behind B15, you'll see her, that little Easter egg comic book name. I think it's just because it doesn't affect the anything. I think that's why nobody else really talked about it. But yeah, I didn't see anybody really mentioning that. I did think it was cool though that they, would pull out a name like from the comics and stuff. I always enjoy stuff like that when they make those references. Like for me, it just rewards the people who not only read it for sure, like I'm sure the people who read it were like super hyped, they know it by like the back of their hand, but even people like me who just like to do their back end research and just look stuff up and try to understand more around characters to see if there's something I'm missing, because that's the main thing I want to do with Ravonna. I didn't want to come on here and feel like they kind of limited or not ruined, because she's not ruined, but they just didn't get to fully flesh out her character. And I didn't want to come on here and sound ignorant and then have somebody be like, oh no, like that's how her character is in the show. It's a thing. Like if you had known her character, all right. But my thing is, even if that is how her character is, I feel like as a show, you still got to give her the time to really develop and show the characterization of these people. So hopefully in season 2 we get to see way more, especially now that she's freely time traveling and whatnot. And
I think they will, and especially because we're getting. I mean, we have vaccines for COVID and pandemic stuff. I'm pretty sure all these actors have gotten vaccinated by now. I mean, I'm sure they're still wearing masks on certain stuff, but they won't have to worry about having to be fully isolated again. I would believe so. I mean, we're having some,
Well, let's pray for the Delta variant, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just get vaccinated and continue wearing masks depending where you're at. Right. I think, but yeah. Overall,
crazy theories? Y'all got crazy theories?
Man, theories. Okay, so I think we're gonna. This is really. I don't know if I said this during the episode. Well, I'm gonna say it again regardless. Forget it. I think it's a really clever way of utilizing the character, the actor for this villain character who has multiple iterations of himself throughout Marvel comic history, just because he's a Time Lord character. Mm-hmm. So this is he who remains, who is just emerging of that old school Steve Ditko-esque character from old comics, and a Kang the Conqueror variant for the MCU, which is great. But I think, we already know we're going to see the Kang the Conqueror played by Jonathan Majors in Ant-Man Quantumania. I think it comes out 2023. And then I personally think,
is it 2023? It's not 2022.
I don't remember.
I hope it's 2022.
I don't know if Quantumania is coming out next year. I know there's a lot of movies coming out next year, so I could be wrong.
Let me just see real quick.
I know
it is 2023.
It's 2023. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know next year's for sure is like Doctor Strange, Wakanda Forever, the Marvels. I know those three off the top of my head. And Thor, Love and Thunder. Yeah, I think
So,
all those four next
I
year.
saw a video and they
Wow.
said that apparently Loki season 2 will come out before Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Really? Oh, you know what? Actually, one thing I keep forgetting.
Did you see that? Did you guys see that too?
I didn't see that, but that reminded me. That is out. This isn't officially confirmed. There's a report immediately after the episode went up that they said that Loki is going to be in Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange too. Yeah, I saw that too.
So
Yeah,
that's the report.
Dang,
I mean,
Doctor Strange about to be lit, man.
that movie,
wild.
That's gonna be a movie.
We really might have to go to a theater for that, man.
I'm
Yeah.
down.
I might have to find myself
March next year. March next year. So
That's gonna be a big one.
That's gonna
I think that is gonna be I think for the greater fan base, you might be still in that. I mean, outside these shows and maybe Black Widow, there might be they kind of I'm done with Marvel stuff for right now, especially all the Infinity War, Endgame, bashing over the head. This will probably be the next really big hype movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Eternals is pretty niche for Marvel stuff, and that's gonna be another test, as I call it, where Guardians of the Galaxy was nothing to a household name. And Shang-Chi is gonna be really cool, really dope, but at the same time, he's not really a super well-known character.
Right.
That's gonna need word of mouth to carry it too. But yeah, I think Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. But yeah, I think the Doctor Strange 2 is gonna be that movie. I think it's gonna be really that movie.
Facts.
Yeah. Oh, and then I think they're gonna introduce his other character, Nathaniel Richards, who he gave the backstory of 32nd century. He was a scientist that soon learned about there are different universes. So there's a multiverse. So I think we're gonna see that iteration of that character and maybe something else with how they're gonna tie in Kang 1 to run, just time in general again.
Right.
Yeah. I think TV. I think yeah. Actually, now I'm thinking about it some more. I think the TVA will kind of be something that's referenced in the movies too, especially see at how this ended. King the Conqueror is the ruler, or he's the known head of the TVA in the new universe that's been created, the new multiverse, I should say.
I think they'll reference it eventually in the movies, but I don't think people should expect it unless I don't think Multiverse of Madness and Quantum Mania, both of those movies could go so crazy that they do say something in one of those movies, directly reference it if they are able to do it. But
Spider-Man might. Well, I think Spider-Man's gonna do it because there's all the. I mean, for those listeners that aren't, there's so many rumors of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man's reprising their roles. We what's his name that played Doc Ock in way back in the old Spider-Man 2? He I guess he doesn't have an NDA, but he was on some radio show doing an interview, and he pretty much confirms he's in the movie. He's one of the villains, and they had to CGI himself down to be a bit younger looking. Yeah.
The only reason I don't think it will happen is because Kang, that version of Kang, He Who Remains, existed outside of time. The TVA created outside of time, and they control everything that's happening in our universe. Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man happens in our universe. They might be confused by where these people are coming from, or where these other versions of Spider-Man, these other enemies are coming from. Maybe they not. I don't know how they would be able to tap in and figure out where it's coming from, or that the TVA has anything to do with anything, or that Kang. You know what I mean?
This might be
part of more to it.
This might be part of the movie where Doctor Strange kind of starts learning about the shit that's happening, because he's going to be I guess so far all the MCU Spider movies have one prominent Marvel character, Iron Man was the first one. Nick Fury was the second one. This one's gonna be Doctor Strange. So I think he's gonna be one, what the fuck is happening, Spider-Man? And two, he's gonna maybe that'll be the zinger at the end. He figures out, oh man, multiverse is getting fucked up.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, so I think
it comes into something later. Yeah, for sure.
And he might just be oh man, the multiverse is going mad or whatever. Some one line or something like that. Don't ever let me near the writer's room. But right. Yeah, but yeah, it's just thoughts. I don't know. It's a lot of potential though, man.
So much, man. So much.
Yeah, so much.
You got any crazy theories?
Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. No.
Or any theories at all? You gotta be a crazy theory.
Yeah, just anything.
Just a theory. Just what's in your head? Yo, you know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna be this. This gonna be the one right here. This is it. they gonna do this? I know you got one in your head.
One in my head.
Maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have one. To be honest, it's kind of
along for the ride.
Once he laid the groundwork, you it's kind of a straightforward thing, really.
Fair.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's gonna branch out, and I mean, I'm curious to see how this war is gonna look. You know,
same. Like, there's really just I'm not really sure the true trajectory of just the MCU, especially in this phase 4, because it's like we have shows that are going to be introducing new characters like like She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and then we have more continuations of side characters like Armor Wars show, Secret Invasion, the whole Wakanda project we don't know much about. Oh, and then Miss Marvel is this year, and Hawkeye with Kate Bishop. So yeah, they're still introducing a lot of newer characters here and there. It seems, especially with Black Widows, with Val, that character played by what's her name from Seinfeld. It seems that they're building a type of a Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers. I don't know what they might do because they're two different teams led by different people. What I thought about this week, because just thinking about what things they're laying. I think what they're doing so far, I think they're doing a Thunderbolts-esque team because we already have Zemo. We already have US Agent, and then now we have this Black Widow, Yelena. But at the same time, maybe they will like to introduce him as like a name that a wider audience is familiar with. So they might just go with the Dark Avengers name, despite not being like that. Because Dark Avengers in comics is literally run by like Norman Osborn and like other people acting as their own stand-ins of like different Avenger characters. So it's like we don't have no Norman Osborn. That sucks, but this is what it is. But yet, man. Hopefully, man. He's just another one of those.
Sound like Sylvie just brought you your Norman Osborn, bruh.
Yeah, man. If fucking if what's his name? Why am I so bad with like?
What are you talking about?
If they bring the actor back, Willem Dafoe. If they bring Willem Dafoe back for real. Oh my. That would be crazy. That would be nutty. And I mean, he's older now, so they're gonna have to CGI him down as well too.
He's not gonna be a perfect like for like. Yeah. Man, that'd be so dope to see him.
Got Norman Osborn, another evil big brain back. Oh, anyway,
I will say this. I think all of this will ultimately lead to the real big baddie, which is going to be Dr. Doom. I think Dr. Doom. Yeah, I think Dr. Doom is after Kang, like as far as a big bad. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's stuff in comics where they both are like they would do. Yeah, they're both in cahoots with a lot of stuff together.
It was fucking they're doing crazy shit as well. Yeah, so I think it's only a matter of time Dr. Doom gets introduced. And Dr. Doom is such a big man. He's that dude. He's that dude. So it's like they have to introduce him at the right time. I doubt they'll do it in Fantastic Four 1, much to dismay of many people. I do think that's gonna happen. I think they'll introduce him later.
I just want to know how they're going to bring him in. Or how does he challenge Kang in any way? Like, because with Kang being established as the person who's allowed the MCU to happen, like even allowing Thanos to attack people and shit, like what is Dr. Doom? How are they going to power scale Dr. Doom in here? And it's not, I'm not denying what y'all are saying that Dr. Doom is that nigga. I agree. All right, he that dude. I just don't know in this specific scenario.
It depends
where do they work him in now? Because, bro, like
it's pretty wild. That's a lot of power you got.
Kang is a lot. He's the reason the MCU has happened.
Yeah,
that's a lot more than just, some regular. So I don't know. I
mean, the only other way, and this is jumping the gun for sure. But I mean, Dr. Doom becomes a god. He becomes like God. He becomes like a god emperor at one point. I think during Secret Wars as well, or at least a part of Secret Wars. So maybe I don't know. It's just a number of things. But yeah, that's really future thing. But I do believe Dr. Doom will get introduced sometime. Maybe he'll be like in between. I don't know. They could do a lot of things. They could kind of sort of make him a Loki, not like where like he's like jobber type of villain dude until now he's like an anti-hero reform hero type character. But like maybe he could be like he pops up just multiple projects doing villain shit, but then we have the big shit he's doing. So yeah, and yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff they could do. It's a lot of stuff. But yeah, King Conqueror is really cool. I mean, Jonathan Majors is just a plus one in general.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, those are all my theories so far. I just think we're gonna see more of his character with different personalities, with different names, but with us with the knowing beforehand, we'll know it's still him. For average moviegoers, Disney Plus watchers, they'll be like, yeah, is it he who remains again and all that stuff. And that's fine. That's still gonna be cool. That's gonna be a cool part of the discussion. But yeah, that's all I really think at this point. I don't know, man. It's just so many multiverse. It's just blown up. Lot. So it's blown up
so much. Yeah, man. Okay, so let's just do this to end it, and then we only got one topic left for you guys anyway. Season ratings for the whole season.
Fuck it, I'm giving it a 9.
Ooh,
give him the strong 9, strong 9, not a little under, not a little above. I think the steaming they're going for was really strong. I think it has probably some of the best cinematography of the 3 shows we've seen so far this year. The soundtrack, one thing I actually talked about, John, like just off the cuff, just rambling, that what Nasi said, be criticisms of the MCU, which I agree. None of them really have really standout soundtracks outside of like Guardians of the Galaxy that goes for that, dude, I grew up in the 80s or whatever type deal they're doing. But yeah, no, they all kind of like bombastic, orchestrated music. It all kind of blends together and sounds heroic because that's just the motif that works. But yeah, this movie really leaned on like the sci-fi sound that the music composer, she killed it in each one. And yeah, I think like Loki, Tom Hiddleston, once again, we said it countless times, just you can tell he just kind of became the character. He did his reading of the character in comics and just kind of loves it and is now elevating the character. And this show brings so much to, the Easter eggs are great. It's bringing so much to the bigger MCU in general. They actually nailed the ending, thank goodness. As much as we love the other 2 shows as well, those shows, the ending just didn't really land as solid as solidly as they could have. But this one I felt like it was a really strong ending, and it's definitely the one I would recommend for anyone that hasn't seen these 3 thus far. I think watching this one first, especially if you want to get a clean understanding of the timeline, so if Endgame kind of left you with question marks. So yeah, I give it a strong 9 out of 10. Only detractors from it, I would say, really only one episode I think was weaker of them all, with more obvious glaring issues, was episode 3. Just on Lamentus. It's a different vibe. That's fine. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I don't think I mentioned as much in the sub, but I think the fight scenes were kind of mid
throughout the whole show.
I would say that like they were just kind of serviceable. Nothing to be like, oh, like I'm not gonna ever like there'll be scenes I go back to for Falcon Winter Soldier. There'll be I'll come back to the CGI scene in like the season finale WandaVision and be like, yo, all this Scarlet Witch stuff happened. That's kind of
that was dope. I'm
not really gonna be like, yo, let's go back to this hand-on-hand combat from episode 2 or whatever. I'm not really gonna do.
And you know what exposed that to me? And I guess I think mid sounds a little strong. I probably would have just said it lackluster doesn't sound any better. It didn't hit the heights I expected it to hit. But what messed me up? Black Widow. Because I thought the fight scenes in there, even the hand-to-hand
true,
brilliant.
That was brilliant. That was one of the strong points of that movie.
I'm just like, well, just bring in whoever did the hand-to-hand combat from that, and next season make them do the Loki stuff. Make them train the Loki people, because that was great. I thought hopefully Black Widow. We liked the movie. I thought the fight scenes were solid. You can't deny that to me. So I think if we had that type of fighting and the smaller hand-to-hand scenes we had, we might have enjoyed them more. But yeah, I agree. They didn't. I didn't really notice, but then because Black Widow came out and I saw that made me go, oh, the fight scenes over here aren't as good as maybe I was convincing myself they were.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. The fight scenes are not what we're looking for in this show. but they're a part of the show, so I'm gonna criticize it. So that's kind of my feeling of it overall. And like we said before, Ravonna Renslayer's arc is not quite as fleshed out as we'd like, for sure. But 6 episodes, certain budget, timing, scheduling, etc. It has all those factors. So yeah, that's my rating. I think it's the best of 3 thus far. Looking forward to the rest of the year.
Adams.
I give it a 9.5 out of 10.
I knew he was gonna do that.
Why are you doing this? I hate this.
I knew he was gonna say. I knew he was. I should have said it with him.
9.89.
I should have said it with him. I knew he was gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say that. Go ahead.
What's the 0.5, Mr. Adams?
Just to say he liked it with a draw.
Master Adams.
Was it? How much higher is that than Aquaman?
Oh yeah, where's this on the Aquaman scale?
Several leagues above.
I love it.
I think I gave Loki
some nautical miles.
Yes, nautical miles. There you go. I'll take a 0.5 off for the filler, the train ride episodes to the big episodes that we got. Those filler episodes. Also, the missing, I guess, Ravona's missing scenes, I guess.
Yeah.
That kind of messed with her arc and made her seem more, mindlessly gun-ho on than maybe she could have been if we had seen her full thing. So we don't know what that is. So at this point, she just seems like a filler character.
Right now,
So yeah,
they told her right now, yeah.
Yeah. So there's the 0.5.
Okay.
Also, just to be one.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Of course. Now I know. Now I fucking know.
Draw gave it a 9.
I'm gonna go back to
the last. You gave it a 9.
Nigga licked his chops when you said 9.
Man.
When you said 9 and solid 9, and you stuck to it.
He about to be tight when I put that 0.5 at the end.
You didn't like it that much.
Shit. I'm like,
I like it enough. I'm gonna show I'm a bigger fan of this than Gerard.
He liked the fight scenes more than me.
I'm Mr. Marvel, goddammit.
Golly, man. I'm gonna say a 0.5. I'm gonna say a 0.5 number.
You're gonna say 0.5 that.
I'm gonna
I gotta give it a 10, man.
I'm gonna look directly at you.
Give it a 10. Everything you have liked, you gotta give it 10 now, or you ain't gonna.
Sheesh. You know what? We can go above the range. We give it 11 out of 10.
Right,
Double hockey six, you know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here.
Oh man.
Oh, y'all crazy.
No show is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm going to give it 8.5.
All right. Oof.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Drew?
I thought you should be like, I'm gonna fuck around and give it a 10. I'd be like,
No. I think 8.5.
That's probably
only
more
because again,
score.
Honestly, eight of the points are for Jonathan Majors. I don't give a fuck. 8 of the points for Jonathan Majors. Anything else that show did well is the other 0.5. Anything else the other show did well is the other 0.5. 8 is for Jonathan Majors. He smoked it. I loved him. Like I said, Loki. That's my favorite shit. He's just my favorite. He was dope. Loved it. 100%. I'm losing the 1.5 for stuff y'all said. Fight scenes could have been more intense. Ravona's story was just not enough there. They needed to flesh her out more, give us more of her, what was going on with her, why she would make some of these decisions. I felt like they underutilized some of the black women that were in here, along with B15 and C20. I think both. Actually, I guess Ravonna, all the black time TVA people, Ravonna, B15, and C20. I think they were all a bit underutilized for the parts they played. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The only thing is we did get to see a little bit of C20 on Earth, and that was kind of our first insight into like, oh wait, what's happening? Like, oh, they're variants too. Like we do know they're variants. They're not just this force that's out here. So that was, I do say I did like that, but I did just wish maybe we'd gotten a little more with that. And they said she was dead, but is she really dead? And who knows? So I feel like all 3 of them might have been a little underutilized. I think this whole series would have been benefited from being maybe 2 more episodes longer, 8 episodes, and I think we might be really in there, And
an episode dedicated to. I really wish we got C20's
Yeah,
20 situation, what she actually saw. Like,
I
even
heard-
if it was
B15,
just like,
B15,
oh,
yeah.
B15, my bad.
Oh, I thought you were
Like,
about
in the rain,
C20
yeah.
for real. I mean, we did kind of
see
see
C20.
her.
We saw a little bit. Like I said, we saw her at the restaurant. We knew that she used to like to drink and she liked margaritas, and we got
Yeah.
that. So there was at
It
least
could
a
have been
little
a dope
bit.
scene where, like, it starts off the episode where she's happy in her actual time, and then it cuts to her being in the prison after having encountered
Yeah, they could have done that. They could have
Sylvie.
done that for sure, and just had us a little glimpse of it. And that would have. I'd be at a 9, maybe a 9.5. Who knows? Who knows? Possibly. But I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that part. And the other part I'm knocking it for is the main thing that I've talked about since episode 3. And was it episode 3? Is episode 3 Lamentus or is no?
Yeah, it's
episode
episode 3.
Sure, it's not 4. You tripping? No, I'm not. I might be tripping.
3 is
It's
when
episode 3.
is when they start back at TVA and we get introduced to Sylvie. And they get Staxley and get sent to Lamentus.
Yeah.
Episode
Lamentus
4
is
begins where they're like, "Oh shit, we're gonna die."
after the Nexus event.
Yeah, Nexus event. Came back to TVA. That's when we got character development. That's when we learned the timekeepers are fake. Loki is pruned. Episode 5 is the void, the episode. And
okay. All right. That's what it is. You know what it is? In my head, episode 2 is episode 3. Episode 2.
I mean, they do blend together, so yeah.
Because it's so short, it's just hard for me to realize. Oh wait, that we got that in the second episode. But the fact that she was able to release all those reset charges, and we never got to see that.
Still haven't gotten the
revealed and resolved in any way. That I mean, it's resolved because they told us it is, but we never see it. Like, I just don't like the fact that the first 2 episodes were built up around this big thing, this big plan that she's been planning for years. She has all these reset charges, all these time pads. She drops them, and then they just sent some agents out to recover them, and that was all they had to do to stop it from being this huge event. And she just, I get it, but they should have let us know that they could have done that as more of a distraction. They didn't need to make it as this big deal. She's been running around killing.
They did blow it up to be something that was pivotal in her plan.
And it did nothing.
It did nothing.
Yeah, they really
it created a slight distraction for her to run through the TVA. And I guess, I
don't
know, man.
You know what? Yeah, so yeah, I guess.
Do you think we might have blown it up?
No, I don't think so. I think that's what we were given.
I think
the first episode is all that. Like, oh, she's collecting, she's stealing time pads, she's stealing reset charges.
I think all right, so this kind of what I was expecting. I think I mentioned from last week's episode review. I think it was last week. Where I pretty much was like, maybe they're just going off the assumption that this is just to show shit went awry. And that's it. And then episode 3 shows them scrambling before we show them actually get thrust in the Mentis one. That they scramble and they do manage to get everyone out there and fix it. Mm-hmm. But that's really it. And I think that's all. I think that's I think that's what they're going with. And that is a lame excuse.
I think it is, man. And that's my only problem with it. I think it's a whack excuse. I don't like the fact that they can just kind of say, hey, she just needed a distraction. It was just a big distraction. She made it seem like that was part of it. Like, that should have got the timekeepers to come out of their cells. Like, she made it seem like, and obviously, now that we know the timekeepers are fake, that was never going to happen. But you just felt like the way they hyped that up, that was a bigger moment than they let it be. And they just didn't resolve that. So that's another reason that we're losing points here. That does not mean their show is bad by any stretch of the imagination. This show is very, very good. Yeah. If for nothing else, watch this show for the end with Jonathan Majors. Now it's all out there. You can binge it. You don't have to, worry about, oh, I got to wait till next week. No, you don't. It's all out now. Go on Disney Plus, find a friend who got Disney Plus, and go ahead and take your ass and watch this show because it is very, very good. I mean, if our lowest rating is an 8.5, and I might be being a little harsh, maybe it's like an 8.8. 8's my favorite number. We'll give it an 8.8. I just feel like man, they did great, man. They did a very good job with this. And I can't remember where I was listening to this at, but somebody was making the point that, even some of the filler episodes we got in this season, they did serve the purpose of setting up a little bit more of the background, setting up a little more of the backstory, letting us know kind of some of it was a little bit of power scaling. So in next season, we won't have to do any of that. Everything's established. We know who Kang is. He's the guy at the end of the time. We don't need to pretend. There's no timekeeper's gambit anymore. So we don't have to pretend through that. They already know, at least Loki and Sylvie should know that there's a Goliath waiting for them if they try to go attack He Who Remains again. So, and they know how to deal with that too. What Loki variants they find at the Void, who knows? Or if they're even necessarily sending people to the Void, are they pruning people? Who knows if that's exactly how they're still doing things. And I keep seeing this thing, and I keep seeing it. I'm not going to say the YouTuber, y'all know who it is, but there's a YouTuber who keeps saying that Sylvie just left. And I don't know that she did that. I don't think that's the case.
Talking about the end of the season?
Yeah, obviously she kills Kang or He Who Remains, and
I mean, we don't know what she does. We just see her sitting there, oh shit, dealing with the consequences.
Yeah, and to me, it just seems like they are pushing the idea that she must have left the Citadel immediately and left. And I'm just like, I don't know why you're so confidently saying that. I think she's going to look out and see the timeline branching and shit. But then if anything, because she's at the end of time still, she should not only see a branch like she saw, she should see when it recollapses, right? She should see when it recollapses, when this version of Kang comes out and starts trimming stuff. She should be able to witness that as well. So, I think there's a lot of different ways they could do that. So I don't know, man. Don't lock in any YouTubers just saying that, oh, she went to a different time period and now she's realized things are changed. Like, I don't know that for a fact. She could be right there in the Citadel still, and plenty of shit can go on. Kang can show back up. Yeah, we don't know. He literally said, "See you soon." To me, it would make perfect sense if next season started off with Kang coming up that elevator behind Sylvie laying on the ground. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I'm right here for it. That ultimate troll god, bro. Nigga came right back and said, "Oh, you thought I was dead?"
That's probably that might be what happens. Like, it might just open and it'd be like, "Oh, the consequences." She's still sitting there. All of a sudden, dude comes back who looks like the statue in variant TVA and was like, so you killed me, huh?
So you killed me.
Well, damn, that hurts.
Ouch.
You got a relationship.
And that's tough,
we
bro.
were friends.
That's tough,
Tried
girl.
to offer you the position. You want it again?
Right. Little Loki intro star.
Right. Like I do think that would be that'd be really cool, man. So anyways, man, yeah. Loki episode 6 season finale. I don't even know which picture of Kang is gonna be our thumbnail, but y'all know it's gonna be Kang. Y'all know that.
Hey man, there's plenty out there, memes, etc. We was Kangs, but man, I don't feel like.
No, I like taking my screenshots directly from the episodes and putting our stuff over it, only because I feel like if somebody else makes a meme, I don't want them to be able to be like, you stole my meme and used it on your podcast to promote it. Like, no. First of all, nigga, I just thought it was funny and put it here. Nobody came here and clicked it because I'm like, how many people are just clicking the meme because it's funny? Time. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But I just don't want to hear nobody's mouth. So everything's original. If something's attached to our stuff,
if someone wants to be a super nerd about it, they can look at the metadata and be like, when was this file created? Like, okay, it's not mine. Good. Or something like that.
Special kind of loser, bro. No, look, I don't even want to hear people
got time.
Don't even want to hear it. So I'm not even, everything we make, our drops are our drops. We don't get drops from nowhere else.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Our sound effects are our sound effect. We don't just grab shit from other places. So well, except for my little click noise on our subscribe button. That's probably might be going off right now. I don't know. It goes off every 30 minutes. It might be going off right now. So if it is, hey, subscribe. Cool. Good on Loki. Time, hour 30. Oh, perfect. Let's net this out, man. Steam. Console tea drop.
Console tea. Jasmine tea is good. Anything I like jasmine tea before?
I do like jasmine tea. Yes.
It's a nice, pleasant tea.
I'm a tea connoisseur, bro. Don't forget. I be teeing it up.
I should start. I need to become more of a tea connoisseur. Be like the tea of the tea of the week is.
I be at the farmer's market with it, bro. I could do a tea.
So okay, bet.
Yeah, I be out there. I bag my own. I have loose leaf tea that I put in my own bags. Like,
that's one of the best places to buy it because everything is so affordable. They have different pricing based on that. But anyway, console tea.
Good. Look how we started talking about T. Ian, like, what the fuck are these niggas doing?
Like, God damn it.
Console T.
So
The Steam Deck.
Steam Deck
Whoa.
came out of nowhere. I had no idea this. Apparently, this was rumored. I didn't know about this. Fucking awesome though. So when Thursday. So yeah, Thursday, out of the blue. Man, I think, I saw it. I was at lunch going to get some food. And I'm on, in the line, and I see my phone, and I see an update from Borrow64 on Twitter. I always post game deals and shit. And sometimes news. He posts a thing like, oh, Steam Deck announced. And I was like, what? And I look at it, and I'm like, is this a Switch Pro? Like immediately, like, is this a Switch Pro? And then I was like, oh, this is Switch Pro, but it's made by Steam. So yeah, it's basically, they're making their own dedicated gaming handheld, which is, it's its own Steam OS. And it's, running, you can have access to all your Steam library. Now this, and I had to share it with y'all and to share everyone else in the friend group. Bro, this is a big fucking deal. This is a big whoop.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no little whoop. This is a big whoop. So
whoop.
let me pull some of this stuff up right here. So, okay. So yeah. So it's basically, it's a handheld. It doesn't have detachable controllers like the Switch Joy-Con. It's all one thing. It's got, it's got D-pad, thumbsticks, 4 buttons on the top right. I think it's stylized like Xbox, ABXY and all that stuff. It has 2 touch pads in the middle of the system on the side, but below the control sticks, which is interesting if they did that. And
that's the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? It's supposed to be the mouse and keyboard replacement type thing for when you're playing handheld. If you want to still use a mouse and keyboard input, you can use those pads. But I just need to see more reviews on that part.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the only part. I mean, granted, I don't think it's something I'd ever use. I like controllers and consoles, and I like playing with that. But
I mean, I would. I mean, it depends. Well, okay, so it depends on a couple of things. Because like when they announced this, IGN, I'm guessing they only had the embargo on this thing. Because I don't think many other websites had this and had impressions. But they were talking about it and using it and blah blah blah. And apparently, this design is not the final design. It's like a earlier prototype version of the device. But I think all the tech, like the stuff inside is final, but I think the shell is, it's gonna be a little different. Yeah, because like the buttons and stuff are on the very top. So I think if you have small hands, it might suck. Then if you have larger hands, I'm not sure how ergonomic that is. I don't know. I have to read, like you said, I have to read more impressions of it. Like speed wise, this thing's like power wise is actually kind of a beast. Like, well, one is definitely showing the Switch for sure. I'm not gonna bore you off all the numbers and all that, but basically it's powered by AMD tech. Nintendo Switch has NVIDIA tech. It's got an AMD APU, which that just means the graphics and the processor are on the same thing. They're not separate on the board. But yeah, it has 16 gigs of RAM, and it comes in 3 different models. They have a 64 gig one with like flash storage. And then it has a 256 gigabyte model that just comes with an NVMe SSD inside of it internally, but it's PCIe Gen 3. It's not the ones that's in PS5 that we can't expand yet because Sony. And then we have the 512 one. That's like a 256. Now, the thing I get that's crazy about this, 2 things. Well, one, if you got your pre-orders in, they had like pre-purchase like for $5 down at least on Friday. It's coming out as early as this December, which is wild. That's pretty wild. So it's very soon, sooner than we think. I'm curious how they're going to market this. I don't know if it's going to be a big holiday thing. It depends on when it releases. And 2, all this tech and stuff, the lowest end version is there's $399. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking amazing. So yeah, so you get access to all your Steam library. And you can also buy a dock separately, so you can connect it to TV or monitor, kind of like the Switch. So this looks really dope. I think we all talked about different possibilities. Like the first thing I thought of was like, oh my god, portable Halo. Oh my god, the dream is real. Amazing. Yep.
The first thing I thought was portable Gears of War, portable MLB The Show, portable everything.
Yes.
As the I thought portable. I just saw portable Game Pass. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, portable Game Pass. Yeah.
Oh shit.
That seems
Fuck.
crazy. Right. Oh yeah, and yeah, for those that are like, what are you talking about? It's a Steam thing. So Steam is like PC, basically. It has a PC game storefront, but they're like the biggest. But the thing about this, and they said even in the IGN videos, they said that this thing is like effectively just like a mini PC.
Yep.
For a very good price, in my opinion. And you can just
Arguably,
wipe
yeah.
it. Yeah, you can wipe it and you can install Windows if you want to. You can install Linux if you want to. That's the kind of thing. And then you can just operate. They show people operating it as like a PC, more or less, and they loaded games and they, you can plug in
it up
all
to a
your
monitor and
controllers.
literally just play it. Like, oh man.
Yeah, man. Like
Put
this,
it on
honestly,
a Type-C dock and you good
this
to go.
has exactly. Yeah, it doesn't even have to be their branded dock that they're gonna sell separate. Like this, I think the potential for this is huge.
Yeah.
Super huge. I think it's gonna get a lot because Steam they're just, it's part of that super enthusiast market. Games are always super cheap on PC. They always go on sale like crazy. Right. But like, man, now people can be like, yo, I want to get a Steam device and be able to play, just get into more of that ecosystem, I guess. Right. That's huge. So yeah.
This makes PC gaming a little more accessible.
Very much so. Like it's really
heavily.
Yeah.
Really, so I don't know if y'all saw anything else about it.
I mean, it's nothing too crazy. I think we're all impressed by it. I mean, I think it's something that we're all.
It's got Bluetooth 5.0.
It's got Bluetooth.
It's got all the Wi-Fi up to for our nerds listening. It goes up to 802.11 AC signal. I know we understand, but listeners.
Only 60 hertz refresh rate.
So only 60 hertz refresh rate.
So don't expect any great performance out of a first-person shooter if you are into that.
Is that in handheld or is it doing the same thing?
That's a
display.
That's a display no matter what. Okay.
Yeah, because they put out a pretty link. I'll post it here, and they have a pretty lengthy like specs thing about it. So the screen is a 7-inch display, just like the Switch OLED that's coming out. Although it's not going to be an OLED screen, it's an LCD screen, which is, that's fine. It's IPS LCD, so that's going to look good. That's going to look good. Not OLED good, but it's going to still look good. 800p resolution. I've never really seen that resolution before. 16 by 10 aspect ratio, so it's just a little taller, but I think the same width. That's interesting.
The display port is 8K 60, 4K 120. So
there you go. That's what I was asking. Okay, so when you hook it up to the right monitor, the right TV,
yes, there we go.
Get some power out of it.
Okay, great. Oh wait, I'm just looking at this too. I didn't even actually look hard at the. They can all be expanded, micro SD, SDXC, HC, all the.
Tell you what, if they told me this thing expands to M.2,
it does.
It does. It has an M.2 slot.
It has an M.2 slot. Yeah.
It does. So you can get the $399 one.
And that's exactly what I was gonna say next.
This thing is expandable to M.2.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
oh my god,
this thing is crazy. This thing is
that's
crazy.
Nuts. That is nuts.
Yeah. This thing is nuts. Like
wild,
if they,
damn.
These USB.
I'm mad I didn't either. I'm broke. I can't afford. I can't do this.
It's not on my budget, man.
It's not in the budget. We will get one of our friends who was able to grab one on here.
We already know too. Yeah, for sure.
And we will. Trust me. We will go harass them at their houses so that we can get firsthand impressions and we can look at it.
I'll be there.
I'm showing up. I don't care if they hate me after.
It says all models use socketed to 2230 M.2 modules not intended for end user replacement. Hopefully they don't put like a tape thing over it.
They probably will.
As a void if
I swear somebody said it.
I think they will.
I thought they said it was a slot for you to. No, we saw that post. There was a post. Oh man, don't make me have to go find it now.
All models include high-speed memory.
I thought there was a post that they said there was an extra slot for you to put in an M.2 if you wanted to.
No, well,
it might be a slot that you have to get done for you. They don't want you going inside and doing it yourself, but they got to know that.
I mean, I think they're using this verbiage to, like you said, they put the void of warranty sticker on it.
Yeah.
But man, fuck it, man. I mean, for us, it's probably gonna open that shit and know what's going on there and want to expand it. I mean, shoot, I still got an M2 right here that I haven't installed anything yet. I just have it because it's cheap. Cheap for M2s. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, sure. This thing looks fire. I mean, I think it's fire just because, like, I mean, I still enjoy my Switch, but I got the Switch primarily for Nintendo stuff. The indie stuff is a cool bonus. They're, now, or not now, but whenever I am able to get this financially, etc., next year, I will make this probably my Xbox Game Pass, words are hard, handheld / maybe do a little bit of indie gaming on the side. There's certain stuff that ain't coming to no current consoles, like like the Sonic racing games or some specific indies, things like that. And maybe some emulation too. Probably load RetroArch on here, and it's a beast. Play everything. Yeah, this thing looks fire, man. I mean, real rap. It looks fire.
100%.
Man, I'm glad this exists too. One, because the Nvidia, I think I don't think it's gonna be like, oh man, the Switch is done. Like you'll probably see trolls saying that, whatever. I mean, I think this will definitely put a little fire under them and Nvidia's asses to maybe get a little more gung ho on their next chip in the Switch, which I know they're developing. You don't just be chilling for 4 or 5 years not doing anything. So that's cool. It also gives us to show what this tech can be like, because I was reading a tweet online. One well-renowned person in the PC community named Durante. He's mostly known for like kind of going through on games to have like DRM and removing it and maybe doing some changes here and there. So he's well known for that. But on some other forum, someone called a snippet I saw on Twitter, where he says the graphics is about as fast as like a base PS4, which we still getting PS4 games now, and they still look pretty good.
Yeah.
He also said, now people are going to use this quote everywhere. He said the raw GPU performance per pixel when targeting 800p is about the same power as the Xbox Series X targeting 4K. So that's just a numbers thing, I think, translating numbers.
Wait, guys.
What?
It was $5 to reserve, and all we had to do was wait until December, and then we just don't have to pay till December, or did they pay for it already?
No, they put out.
I had $5.
I mean, I did too, but
I had $5. Now, did I know for a fact that I'd have it in December?
We posted in the chat.
But I missed that. I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat trying to find the thing, and I completely missed that it was $5. I did see the countdown, but in my head, I'm like, man, these boys out here, these boys about to go spend $400. They got that, bro. Y'all can keep that. I ain't got that. I didn't realize it was a $5 down.
Yes. So now we just
done that.
All of them are like,
got us one of these for $5.
Yeah, it's like reserving at GameStop. Like a game, I think it's $5.
Damn, I'm mad I missed that one.
Well,
next time they release them, I will put $5 down to get one for sure.
I don't know. I think this allotment was really just what they manufactured for this year. This hot, like barely at the skin of the, just at the edge of their teeth, just to get out in December. Because like now, if you go on the site for like one to pre-order or whatever, it says from like Q1 to Q3 next year. So, because I think it's still the microchip shortage. That sucks. But the other thing they said, they say the CPU is basically half a PS5 with a slightly lower clock, which just means it's probably the same type of like family of CPUs, but it's on the lower end. That's what I read it as. 16 gig of RAM. I already said that. That's 4 times the Switch. That's cool. So yeah, this thing seems pretty beast mode. And then they said the battery life will still be a variable between 2 hours and 8 hours, depending on what you're playing. If you're playing just, I don't know, Hades versus, I don't know, Doom Eternal, Horizon Zero Dawn, something like that on there because of Steam. So yeah, so I think this is really cool just to get a good idea of how the mobile tech is progressing. It's really cool. So and cool to see what AMD's working on. So this is really cool for multiple reasons, man. This looks really dope. I
was just sitting around to watch y'all count down and everything, and I was like, good for y'all.
That's why they were like, oh, bet we're just gonna put that. Yeah, because I mentioned, I was like, look, all right, maybe I think I might have linked it, or either I linked it or Patrice linked it, because she was looking at it a bit more than I was at first because I was out. And then she was like, oh, it looks like you just need $5. And I was like, man, that's tempting, but I got things to save up for. But yeah, so fire. When we hear more about it, we'll definitely want to talk more about it for sure. Now traditionally Steam has done hardware stuff in the past and it hasn't really popped off. Like they've done not exactly like this, but they made their own like PC box. I think they're called like Steam box or Steam machines.
I remember that, yeah.
And those flopped extra hard,
Super hard.
because well, they're overpriced. I think they're like $700-800 for little
Really?
stuff
I didn't
in
realize
there.
they were that expensive, but
Yeah, they're pretty pricey. And it just didn't market them right. So even if their marketing still kind of meh, or they're just not trying to target a wider audience, just kind of focusing on getting PC folks to get a dedicated handheld for their library. Right. I just think that $400 price tag alone is very attractive.
Yeah. The 400,
Just $50 more than the Switch OLED, and all that really is just, you know, if you play handheld, you'll get a nicer, bigger screen. That's really it. So yeah, so I am just really curious how they're gonna advertise this. So I think this could be pretty big, because I don't think Nintendo just needs to dominate the handheld space. Like Sony was once there, they kind of gave up the Vita, unfortunately, and now they pivoted and made VR their second thing. Xbox is just all Game Pass cloud streaming, and that's, you know, it's a little different. So having someone else be in mobile in mobile space, and it seems just hybrid stuff is the wave. This is great. Oh man, I'm excited for it. I do want to get one next year when possible. I don't know what this means for my current PC. I'm not really sure, but I'll figure it out when we get there. But overall, this looks dope, man. Portable Portal.
Mm-hmm.
Portal too.
Yeah, so I was just gonna wait to the end. I was gonna let you live to the end of the podcast, but that means you can't avoid.
Hey,
all right. I'm just saying. Look, bro.
I told you we can get it done.
No, I want to. I'm just saying. I'm gonna get one so you can stop avoiding me, so we can finish this.
Avoiding
me, bro.
I'm gonna just ping you once a week. Be like, hey, bro, Portal 2.
Not gonna tell me I'm not trying to play this game now.
Right, it's right here. It's well, maybe it's not installed, but I can install it today.
I think I own it on Steam too. Not funny enough.
Maybe sell it for like $2-3, and you'd be like,
oh no, well, you know why I didn't? No. Now I realize they had that thing up there that was like, if you're not if you hadn't made a purchase on Steam like recent enough or in the past enough, you couldn't pre-order one, and I don't think I made a Steam purchase.
Well, honestly, man, it was bugging that day.
Oh, really?
It was telling people like, oh, you know, your account's too. It did for John and Patrice.
Your account's too new.
Yeah, and it's like
it did it to John. Oh, if it did it to them, then I.
But now John, yeah, because I went over there. I was yesterday, or not yesterday, Friday. I went over there and was just chilling for a bit. He told me how he got it. He said at first said that, but then he had to wait like 5-10 minutes to refresh it, and he was able to get it. And I was like, oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was just too many people hitting their site.
I mean, I did buy both portals. I do own both portals. I just checked. I do own both portals, and I own Among Us. So I can play Portal. We can play Portal for real. We really can beat this game. I will hook up.
Yeah, man.
One of these controllers. We really can. We can. Absolutely. It is half my fault. But yeah. Steam Deck, man. Portable. All I'm thinking about is I can grab it, play a game, and then I can just hand it to Shorty, and she can play it. Ashley, sorry.
And it's all cloud saves too. Cloud saves on Steam.
Portable. Yeah.
And then you can do the whole.
And it's portable, so you can cloud save on there, and then go.
And then you can do the Steam share library. Like I've done that with like Cam's account. I think I did it with Devin's. I forgot how many people you can do it up with, but as long as they're not on playing the game, you can play their game. So share my library and I don't know, whatever in there you may want to look at.
Damn.
Yeah, so like Steam platform is fucking dope. It just was, you know, it's super enthusiast and behind. I don't want to say it's behind high-end PC stuff. There's a lot of games like League of Legends you can just play on like a basic laptop.
It doesn't have to be crazy. And I think that's the misconception. I think people just assume you have to have the most expensive PC to play any PC game. And it's like, no, you just need them if you're trying to run the best games at the highest specs.
Yep. Or shooting games. People just focus on these basic 1080p monitors and just have a stupid high refresh rate, so they can have these 200 plus frames per second. They can react to everything.
That's man. That's why I turned the PC players off in Call of Duty. You ain't finna have me out here looking crazy,
man.
You're out here at 800,000 frames per second. You can, the second I sniff in my eyes, I take a breath in and somebody can snipe me from across the map. I hate that shit. But But yeah, man. So I guess maybe next year, some of us will be looking to grab Steam decks because
Yes, sir.
yeah, that looks like a beast of a machine, man. It does. Um, competitive pricing too. I think
400. That right there is
400 for the
how.
64, and you can just get another
Yeah, I mean,
another
we all kind of do it now anyway.
what's the shit called?
Micro
bro?
SD cards.
Micro
yeah.
SD card. Damn, I cannot think of the name of that shit.
All right, you good. You good. You good.
I guess the only reason you want to be at the 531 is for the SSD.
Yeah, just straight up if you don't want to really open anything up. But even then, depending on what game you play or you plan on playing, if it's one of those big ever-growing games, that shit will fill up with like four or five games,
that's what I'm saying.
depending. Because with the OS installed, it's gonna probably bring it to maybe just under 200 or
yeah.
Well, I don't know how. Well, I guess it depends. If you just want to play it out of the box vanilla, I don't know how large their Steam OS will take up. It's based off Linux, so it might not be that huge. So you might still have a little over 200.
I did see that.
I don't know. I heard it was just a Linux based thing. So yeah, man. So man, there's a lot, man. It's just a lot of potential. At this point, as we go farther along in the year, I'm just I just want to see what people do with it when they get theirs and how easy it is to upgrade stuff. Then I can plan.
I'm curious
next
to see
year.
what the I guess what Sony does as far as maybe
trying to respond.
Yeah. I mean, they already got 2 of their games on Steam, so
I wonder if they need to respond though. I think the only response would be to maybe make some PlayStation games that were like exclusive, maybe make them accessible on Steam so that people who have a Steam Deck can use it. I think that would be the next thing.
They should probably put Bloodborne on there because people keep asking for that.
Oh
they probably should. I mean, I get it. From Software's doing Elden Ring, whatever, but still, man, that game's still 30 frames on base PS4. That's crazy.
I guess I wonder if because Sony, I don't think. I mean, my thing is, I don't care about having portable PlayStation now. So,
yeah,
I've never really tried it on PC. So, yeah.
Does PlayStation Now work on PC? Is it supposed to?
No, there's a PS Now on PC.
Oh, I didn't even know. I genuinely did not know that because the game selection on PS Now is just so. And the best games that you're supposed to get on PS Now, you just get now with the PlayStation Plus collection. So. What's the purpose of PS Now right now? So I would love to see what they do. I mean, I don't expect them to now come back with another Vita, even though they should. I think they should have done that years ago anyway. They could have been ahead of this. But
they could have been ahead of this.
Because that Vita, especially the remote feature, like it's still clutch. Like I know people act like, oh, there's a PS5 out. I have to have the latest technology. No, you don't, man. Actually, right now, I would suggest you this. If you don't have a PS5 yet and you're just looking to maybe upgrade your experience of your PS4, go find you a Vita. You can find a Vita for like $80-$100 max. Promise you. Go find you a Vita. It really doesn't matter which version, and you can remote play your PS4. And granted, it doesn't. You got to an extent, but I loved the ability to just whatever game I was playing on my PS4, I could grab my Vita and I could go to the back. I could go outside. I could go wherever. And I could still be playing. I could go to another place. I could go lay down in bed if I want to and have this. Because me personally, I like being closer to the screen. I hate being far away from the screen. So sitting back on a couch or laying in a bed might not be the most comfortable gaming position for me. But if I got the screen right here, it's way better. So you have those options. And I'm sure Vita's, well, maybe not because they're not making them anymore. So the prices might eventually start rising back up as they become harder and harder to find.
I haven't really looked them up like that.
I don't know. I owned a lot of Vitas. I
think the old one. I think the first gen are pretty pricey. I think the second.
I want to get my blue one back. Let me see if I can find a blue one.
I'm gonna do a quick search while we kind of talk about it real quick on
eBay. Yeah,
just see what's going on. Well, yeah, these first generations
139, 150. About 150 still.
200.
Still find some.
Yeah.
I picked up the blue PS Vita for a bit.
Yes,
that was
my
favorite
a blue one for 200 here. Someone's selling. Yeah, I think it varies.
I couldn't find that orange one. There's some colorways you're not gonna be able to find, but definitely, man, a Vita.
You mean the lime green?
It can. Yeah, they did. That one's hard to find too. It might have been an only Japan thing though. There's a lot of them. A lot of different colors are only Japan, bro. And that shit is.
They don't do that shit. Damn it.
But yeah, yeah, man. If you still have a PS4, you're trying to get the most out of it. I suggest trying to do your PS Vita thing, man. It could work really well. Some games I think No, not that I remember. No, I'm not be tripping because I don't think I played a game like that. But yeah, anyways, PS4, check out a PS Vita. I think that's a good look. Now, granted, you have to do a lot more work to jailbreak it and run Game Pass and all that other shit. You know, you ain't gonna have no SSDs and nothing like that. But it's a solid little piece of thing that I think can really up your experience with the PS4. So, $440 on Amazon. What ain't tripping?
Oh yeah, don't go on there. Yeah, you gotta look at, I guess, eBay and stuff.
Yeah, you got to eBay and Facebook Marketplace it, man. Don't go to Amazon unless you're rich like that. Then do your thing. But you might get scammed on there too, though. By the way, so just watch yourself.
Yeah, could be drop shipped or something.
You think it's that, and it's not that at all. It's a keychain of a PS Vita or something. You're gonna be sick. But anyways, man, I appreciate y'all for stopping in, checking in. We were able to kind of dive into Loki shit real early. Hopefully y'all really enjoyed the series. Let us know your thoughts and predictions on it for the next season.
Yeah, man, hit us up.
Getting them YouTube comments, getting them Instagram comments. Let us know your opinions on Loki. Do we sound crazy? Were we right about some stuff? We're definitely right about some stuff. But do you think our theories sound crazy? What do you want to do? Let us know, man. We'll be right there monitoring the comments as Kang monitors the timeline. Just the exact same way we'll be monitoring the comments. So yeah, man, check it out. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Share is key. Share with your friends, man. But most importantly, above everything else, enjoy. It's been two ugly nerds, but there's three of us.
Peace.